I've been a huge fan of the organization for the last couple of years, and I became a member. So Blexit is a 501c3 nonprofit, non-political, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to advance minority communities, specifically targeting the African American community across the nation. Our initiatives, we have 5 pillars. Our first pillar is school choice. Our second pillar is free enterprise and entrepreneurship. Our third pillar is criminal justice reform. Our fourth pillar is to continue the promotion and also developing history programs that highlight our nation's founding principles, specifically freedom. And our fifth pillar is to showcase any of the first 4 in a format that's evocative, a visual arts format, and or live experience. That's what Blexit does. We have tons of initiatives that are happening in our country right now that are being done by our chapters.
Welcome to Liberty and Freedom with Porsha and Brian. Unfortunately, Porsha is not able to make it tonight. She's at a function right now, and so so it's just going to be me for this episode. That being said, we do have a number of things to get to. Now, normally I would have it all written out as far as what I'm going to talk about, but unfortunately, technical difficulties, so now I'm going to have to remember it all off the top of my head. So hopefully I don't forget something, but I'm not going to forget what the big news. I mean, I'm not going to forget that, but I'm going to hold off to that to the end. So, but first off, I want to say thank you to True Texas Project and Grassroots America for having us to talk about Blexit. I spoke for True Texas Project twice. Seeing if I had the notes I could remember, but yeah, so I spoke at True Texas Project. Our Assistant State Director Charnel Wiley, she spoke to Grapevine Republican Club, and then I spoke at Grassroots America in Tyler, Texas. And again, I just want to definitely say thank you for them for having us to talk about Blexit and get the word out about Blexit, Texas. So I guess I'm going to try to do this in chronological order since I'm trying not to forget some stuff without the notes. But CPAC was earlier this month, which is funny. Hold on, let me check on the comments. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. So, okay. I'm not seeing anything about the audio. So, yeah. So CPAC was earlier this month, which it was funny when I was putting together the notes that I thought I would be looking at, and I forgot that CPAC was in this month. It felt like it was last month. But yeah, so CPAC was earlier this month, and we at Blexit, Texas, a lot of us were there. Blexit in general was there, and so we were able to get in contact with people. Matter of fact, going to CPAC is actually what brought this big news I'm going to talk about later. It was because of going to CPAC and be able to network and talk with other people. So, and like I said, I will get to that shortly. But yeah, CPAC was, so for myself, I've gone to CPAC pretty much every year, at least once, especially since they split it up into 2 events the past couple of years. So I've always, for me, I guess it's just something where I'm kind of used to going to CPAC and everything like that. But um, I was able to bring some people that never been to anything like this, and I know they had a great time. And matter of fact, there is another similar event that's happening in Arizona by Turning Point USA called America Fest, which I'm planning to go to. And it's kind of like a CPAC. It's I would just say I guess it's more like a younger version of a CPAC in that sense. I mean, because Turning Point is more geared toward younger adults and everything like that. So yeah, I'm planning to go to that. That's in Arizona. Hopefully, I'll meet some people with Blexit Arizona out there as well. But yeah, CPAC itself was like I said, was a good time, and the main thing, I'm just glad of how we were able to connect with some people and for future events and be able um, to as far as events go and be able to find other people and to the point to where we can have some events and sponsors and stuff like that. So all of that stuff that I will mention later on. But and so yeah, with that, also I want to also mention that our back to school initiative. So as I think I mentioned in the last episode in July, that we were doing a back to school award where we sent out email to all our members and asked them to nominate someone to be considered for this award. And so we have our award winners. I don't want to say just yet because we're still trying to get in contact with them as far as letting them know that they won and all of that. But we have concluded that that nomination and everything like that. And so yeah, so the two teachers that we're going to select there get a $250 gift card. And so yeah, as part of our initiative for this month being for back to school, and being that one of our pillars is advocating for school choice, and we definitely want to show our appreciation to the men and women that are out there that are teaching our children now. I mean, especially in the light of what's going on, especially talk about school boards and stuff like that. I mean, we also see about the liberal takeover in a lot of cases in these school boards and what they're trying to teach children. But there are some good teachers out there that are trying to do the right thing, and that's who we um, want to acknowledge and appreciate. So yeah, so we'll have that. We'll have the news about that hopefully by the end of the month, which is not, which is pretty close. So hopefully we'll have that and we'll post it on our social media as well. And so now again, like I said, I'm trying to go off the top of my head as far as everything that I wrote down before I get to the major news of it all. And I mean, to be honest, I think this episode might be a little bit short, only because of that. But I know one thing I wanted to mention, just speaking about Texas in particular, and I can't say that. I mean, it's not a pillar for Blexit, but it is something. But we in Blexit, we are pro-life, and in thinking of that, because in Texas the trigger law happened this month, which I don't know. I think I probably mentioned on here before is that if you would have asked me couple years ago, matter of fact, not even it only be that long ago, and if you asked me if I thought Roe v. Wade would be overturned in my lifetime, I would have probably said yes, maybe, if that, because I'll be honest, I was very pessimistic that it would that would happen, but thank God it has, and one of those elements of what happened is the trigger law in Texas, which went into effect this month. So um, that is just major news. It's one thing I mentioned when I spoke with the Grassroots America is that, as I posted on my profile, is that the overturn of Roe is one of the most important and events coming from I guess if you say coming from the government in the sense, just because of the direct impact of how many lives that will be saved because of that ruling. We have a lot of other events, a lot of other bills and legislation, and all that goes on, and all those affect lives as well. But this right here was something that directly affects people's, you know, lives. And so that was just one thing that I mentioned. I mean, and going back to that Grassroots America event, which was great. But the thing about it is that it's the longest I've ever spoke in front of a group of people, to put it that way. Because normally the times I've been going to these speaking engagements, they've been 15, 20 minutes, which is fine. It just, I didn't know that it was going to be that the time allotted for me to speak in Tyler was 60 minutes. And so to know that I had to speak for up to an hour or longer was kind of intimidating. I was a bit nervous actually when I got that email saying about the time to speak and everything, because I guess I didn't really consider it would be that long that they would want me to speak for that long. And so I had to make some adjustments on my speech, and like so Bledsoe has like a PowerPoint, and I had to adjust that PowerPoint to add some more things. So basically, I just added more of my story and I guess how I made my Blexit. I just added more of that to it, and because so there's nowhere to watch that because Grassroots America they don't live stream, which that's pros and cons to that. I mean, the good part about it is that you can just kind of just don't have to worry about getting media clips or something like that. It's a private event in that sense. The con of that is that I can't show y'all what I said. So I'm going to be speaking again in October in El Paso, and maybe I may start recording my own speeches or something like that, or something. It'd be, or just so I could play a clip of as far as what how the speech went and something like that. But so yeah, again, thanks to Grassroots America, and also if anyone else, any organization that wants to have anyone from Bledsoe, Texas to speak, just let us know. Send a message on our social media, or just send a message on social media and let us know. We'll be more than happy to come speak at your meeting or for your organization, so to talk about Blexit. So now. So I mentioned about CPAC. I mentioned about our back to school award, and that. Oh, also, want to say we for a while now, Blexit Texas has been going on as a team, kind of incomplete. So we haven't had a full team for a while now, and I'm happy to say, as of this week, we actually have a full team together. So now we have, myself, I'm state director, assistant state director Charnel Wiley, and our director of Dallas Fort Worth is Julie Caceres, and director of Houston is Dion Black. Now, I saw one comment asking why just those two cities, because so the reason behind that is that Blexit National as a whole, we're just going to get directors for the two most populous cities in that state. So that being Dallas Fort Worth, it just kind of combine the two together, and Houston. So that's the reason why we only have just those two directors. That being said, now that we have a full team, we are definitely looking towards having what we call community leaders to help us out as far as these events go and what we're looking to do. And speaking of events, so next month, our initiative for September is a food drive, which we're very excited for that. And so we're looking to have whether it's a kind of like a social or it'll probably be something like that, especially in Dallas Fort Worth. We're looking to have something of that sort, to where we could have people donate non-perishable items that we can donate to a food bank in the area. And the other event, which I will get to in a minute, is also tied to the food drive as well. So now that think I have got through everything off the top of my head, because and I think I have. So that being said, let's get to the to the major news. And so before I get to that, I know I'm just building anticipation. I'm sorry, but before we get to that, I do want to play a clip of Mike Bledsoe from Xavier. So go.
So I grew up in a very liberal and democratic household. I watched way too much media, and I was indoctrinated with this belief that I was going to go outside and be gunned down by police and become the latest Black Lives Matter hashtag.
Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name!
I started posting about Black Lives Matter on social media. I became an activist for Black Lives Matter, and it ended up getting me a platform to where I was actually casted to be on a reality show. And on that show, the premise is you don't meet your competitors in person, you only interact virtually. So you portray whoever it is that you're set to be. And I was set to be a woke white girl who was an ally of Black Lives Matter and was supposed to teach people how to be a supporter of Black Lives Matter. Because of that, I wanted to make sure that I was as knowledgeable of all the counter arguments as possible. And everybody asks, what was your red pill moment? I had a prescription bottle of red pills. I tried to go against Candace Owens. I listed out all the different arguments she had and tried to prove each and every one of them wrong. And every time I proved her right. And I started finally asking myself, how are hundreds of millions of dollars raised by Black Lives Matter, but we're not seeing a single business or community benefiting from this money? Not even the businesses that have been destroyed by Black Lives Matter rioters. Black lives never mattered to them.
All right. So, enough anticipation, enough waiting. So the news that I want to announce is that we are going to have a screening, and it's going to be in Houston, Texas. So outside Houston, it's Pearland, Texas. It'll be in Studio Movie Grill in Pearland, Texas, which is outside of Houston. And so that would be September 29th. And we are putting together a screening. And also, again, as I mentioned about CPAC, because of our networking and connections that we made there, we were able to get a great organization to help us out as far as sponsorship go. And so so they're going to come in and sponsor. I'm not going to say who just yet because we're still trying to finalize the details with that as well. But I can at least say that it will be September 29th in Houston area, and we'll be screening a movie. Now, I haven't said what movie, but because I'm about to show you a trailer for it. And so here's the trailer.
Many of our people's minds have been whitewashed. If a Negro comes up to you and you turn your back on him, he's got to run to the honky. We're going to take time and patience with our people because they're ours. All of the Uncle Toms, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. And when they slap, we're going to bow. And we're going to try to bring them home. And if they don't come home, we're going to off them. That's all.
How are you?
Great, thank you.
What we're covering is a very layered thing. We're talking about over a century of tactics, writings, education, journalism, music, film. All these different vehicles being used to carry out this ideology.
That's right. So we're going to be playing Uncle Tom 2. And so we are definitely grateful to have to have this film and have it screened. And so we'll be showing Uncle Tom 2, and it'll be in Houston at the Studio Movie Grill on September 29th. And now we'll have the details as far as tickets in the next week or so. But I wanted to make sure on this stream to let everyone know that that is what we're planning, and that's what we have set up for everyone. So as soon as we get all the details, as soon as we get all the links and everything, we'll have it. We'll have it on our social media, and we will share it out, obviously. And as well, if you remember, you'll get the emails about the event and everything you need to know. So, and also, we'll also reveal who the organization that is helping us sponsor showing the film. So, so we are excited to be able to show the film and be able to have more people watch it. It premiered earlier this week on the 26th, and they have the huge premiere in Dallas. And so co-founder Brandon Tatum was there, and had Larry Elder and Chad Jackson, the director. I mean, so basically the whole cast was there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to that event, but so yes, we're looking to have all the details, but I wanted to first announce it here on Liberty and Freedom. And so yes, so we are excited and definitely looking forward to having this screening. And actually, by mentioning that before I go, so I'm right now. So for people that don't know, I'm a truck driver. So if you can't tell, I'm in the back of my truck. So this yesterday I was in Nebraska. So, and we have a Blexit Nebraska out there, and I was able to go to this event that I was invited to. Mainly, I was passing through and I found out about this event that was going on in Omaha, and I went to it, and I must say it was a memorable time, put it that way, because a lot happened. So it was at a fairgrounds, which you had bouncy house and you had a stage, and it was all great. Unfortunately, it rained, and it rained a lot, and it got kind of bad. It was like wind and stuff, and so that could be very deflating, especially if you put the people have put together this event and everything, and then have something like that happen to kind of totally derail your whole event. But that being said, as resilient as we are as patriots, that we didn't have that to hold us down. So, even in the rain, we just kind of met in a tent and still kind of kept some of the event going, it was great to see how we weren't being discouraged, because we weren't just going to just run off just because of the a little rain. So, and then after so long, we moved to another location and we continued on. And because for people that don't, I guess Alex Stein was one of the speakers there. Bryson Gray, someone that has been part of our Blexit events, and he was there. He was the headliner pretty much there, and so got a chance to talk with him about Blexit and all that, and just upcoming events and everything. So that, all in all, it was a great time. It's, as I mentioned to someone there, I will always remember that time, because a lot happened, but we stuck through with it, and we kept going, and the event went off. It didn't go off without a hitch. There was plenty of hitches because of the rain and everything, but we still continued to finish the event. So it was a good time. So shout out to the people in Nebraska with Nebraska Freedom Coalition. That was So we got through it, and it was a good time. So that was the one thing I forgot while I was playing those clips that I was going to talk about. So that's all. Again, just to reiterate, we are having a screening of Uncle Tom 2 in the Houston area on September 29th. Again, just to let everyone know. Like I said, we'll have all those details in the coming days, in the next week or so. So that's it for this episode. I appreciate everyone who has come on and have watched this stream, and share it. Join Blexit Texas. Go to Blexit.com, click on chapters, click on Texas. And also, if you don't live in in Texas, you can also click on Blexit.com, click on your state, and you can join Blexit in your state. Right now, we have 41 chapters in 50 states. So most likely there's a chapter in your state. It's unless you're one of the 9. So definitely, we're continuing to grow, and we're just looking to try to do what we can to try to change the narrative and what's going on in our community as far as the I would say the destructive, poisonous policies of progressivism. So we look to you to come out and to help us in that, and we'll continue to try to do what we can in leadership to bring all that down to just a horrible ideology of progressivism, especially in the Black community. So yeah, again, thank you for watching. And our next stream, now I had it wrote down. It's in September. It's the last Sunday. So I can't remember that date. So it's the last Sunday in September, as it always is. It's always the last Sunday of each month. So whatever day that is, I'm trying to remember. I think it's September 25th. But don't hold me to it because I'm not looking at a calendar. So whatever the last Sunday in September, that's when it'll be. So I appreciate everyone that has been on. And matter of fact, well, I got a little time. I see a comment here. Got here. So I just click on it. So Laura Cottington said, just coming on, will you be playing in Annapolis? So we're just Blexit, Texas. So that would be up to Blexit, Minnesota. If they're going to play it, I don't know if they are or not. So just check with Blexit, Minnesota, and see what they're go to their page, and you can find out if they're going to be playing it or not. So, and I just click on all of them. I got time. So hey to Kyan from Pflugerville, and thank you for telling me that you hear me fine. That was from earlier. And hello, Lucky. I see you. And got another one. See, oh yeah. Oh great. Yeah, I come through Minnesota all the time. Yeah, so well, I can't say I go through there all the time. To be honest, when it starts snowing, I stop, I don't come up north too much, because if I can choose to not go drive through the snow, I don't. So but yeah, I go through Minnesota pretty often. And yeah, it's just it's always so I drive all 48 states and just I go all over. But the fact I'm able to pick wherever I'm able to go, so I just I choose where to I choose not to go to the snow, or just I try not to go south when it's too hot. So but yeah, if I'm coming through there, yeah, definitely I'll just like just now when I went to the Nebraska event. So if there's things going on where I'm driving to, and I find out about something going on, I come by and see what's going on. Like last night with the Nebraska event. So yeah. So anyway, I can't believe I actually got through all of that, and I think I have remembered everything that was on that list. If I go back and I see if I missed something, but I think I got everything. So yeah. I think it was like the third time I said I was going off. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and until next month, which is the last Sunday of September, we'll see you then.